Good morning. I'm not going to say good afternoon, good evening. Actually, I just did. Anyway, it's morning here. So, I woke up with a hankering for eggs. But I wanted something different. So, instead of just having eggs, I'm going to do Edwardian eggs. So, there's a couple of things that I've been eating since I was a child that only really exist in the UK, or that were kind of created in England. So they're very English. So and they've got very strong flavours, and I'll introduce you to these things because I find medieval cookery and an old style cookery fantastic, and I love the fact that things have lasted the test of time. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is gentleman's relish. So, or if you want to be posh, patum purpureum. So, and that means pepper paste in Latin. So you're getting all kinds of lessons from this. So it's all educating yourself. So it's created with 60% anchovies, and it's a paste. So there's the lid. Sorry, I just took that off there. That's the inside. I've used this one because I love it so much. So there's a very pungent, piquant flavour. It's not for everyone. But if you like strong flavours like me, you'll love it. So it was created in 1828 by an Englishman called John Osborne. So, and it's delicious served on hot buttered toast. So that's going to be part of the breakfast today. So it used to come, when I first had it when I was a very young child, it used to come in like an earthenware ceramic pot. And they're quite collectible now. I think I might like to buy one, but now they come in these plastic things. I think you could still get like a really expensive version of this in an earthenware pot, but I haven't managed to see them in supermarkets or anything. But maybe I'll have a look around on the interweb. So it has secret herbs and spices in there, and apparently only one person in the factory that creates this stuff knows the secret recipe, and it's passed down from one person to one person. Whether that's a legend, I don't know, but it sounds good. So it's kind of if I had to guess at the secret spices, I would guess that it's like cayenne pepper, cinnamon, nutmeg, mace, that was used a lot at the time, black pepper, and some ginger in there, which is good. So it's a health food. You're getting your oily fish, so 60% anchovy, and and I love the fact that they've used the same recipe since 1828. So that's the first thing. It's gentleman's relish. I love the name. It's like Americans will probably think it looks like a pot of pomade, but I'm a dapper Dan man. So one thing I really discovered today that really excited me to the point where I had to go online and order some, is I didn't realise, because you don't see this in the supermarket much. It's it's one of those things, but I didn't realise they made two other relishes. So they've made one called the poacher's relish, which is made with smoked salmon, which I love. Before creating this channel, I was a pescatarian, and now I'm an accidental carnivore. The things you do. So I've ordered that. I'm really looking forward to that. And there's another one. What was it called? Angler's relish, and that's made from mackerel, which is one of my favourite fishes. So I've got poacher's relish, smoked salmon one, and angler's relish turning up at the post. So I'll do a taste test and a review of those. So it's sad that I get so excited over food, isn't it? Especially fishy food. Yum. So that's that one, 1828. So that's Edwardian. And then there's the old school Marmite. So this is one of those things that in the UK, you know, it's even become a slogan. You either love it or you hate it. I love it. So, I'm going to be doing gentleman's relish on toast, and I'm going to be making Marmite eggs. Ooh, Marmite eggs, what a weird thing, eh? So, this was actually invented by a German scientist called Justus von Liebig. What a cool name. So, but it was produced in England. So he invented it. So it was invented by a German and created in England. So in 1902. So it's still officially Edwardian, because King Edward was on the throne at the time. So we're doing an Edwardian breakfast. So so yeah, like the gentleman's relish, it was originally sold in earthenware pots. But sometime in the 1920s, they went for these glass jars things that they still sell them in. The glass jars are actually made in Germany. So I love the fact that they've stuck with that since the 1920s, that particular shape. So, and yeah, so what was I going to say? So yeah, there's other stuff that's similar like it. So you've got Vegemite from Australia. So when it was invented, this was originally created from a yeast byproduct from the Bass Brewery in Staffordshire, I think. So have a look inside. I mean, look at that. That's very yeasty. So, but it's also been used medicinally because it's a really rich source of vitamin B and zinc. So this was in ration packs for British soldiers in World War One. So that, you know, I would have loved that. I could imagine the soldiers in the trenches going, "Oh, Marmite, I hate Marmite," and then someone else going, "Oh, I love Marmite, I'll have yours." You know, so it's like love it or hate it. So, and it was used to treat, what was it, anemia. So, which is pretty mad. So, and what else was it used to treat for? Malnutrition in the malaria epidemics. So, you know, it's not only a health food, it also has medicinal benefits. So, and it tastes really good, in my opinion. So anyway, there's your history lesson about Marmite and Patum purpureum. So both amazing English foods that have existed for ages, and people are still arguing about them. I love them because I like strong flavours. So to the anyone, you know, like that wants to try and get this, this is hard to find. This isn't in the UK, but you know, we have this amazing thing called Amazon now, and you can pretty much buy anything on there. So I'm hoping that people in the USA that want to try this can buy these products on Amazon, because they really are worth a try if you like piquant, salty flavors and food that's actually good for you. So, you know, I know that you shouldn't eat too much salt these days, but you know, I'm sure that all the other things in there, and you with the paste, you literally scrape it on really thinly because it's so strong you don't need a lot. And it's the same with the Marmite. So anyway, on with the cooking. Okay, so I'm going to start with a little bit of sesame oil for the egg. Just personal preference. So let that warm up a little bit. Look at my lovely little egg pan. How cute is that? So, right. Yeah. Right. I should have got the fat hot first. There you go. Here we go. This is a first for me. Well, it's not. It's a first for me on video. Anyway, so let's hope that I don't actually break the egg, because that would be a disaster, wouldn't it? absolute disaster. Oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? So egg goes in. We'll just let that heat up a little bit. I didn't heat up the fat enough. So this is one of them cookers where the settings have all been washed off the knob, so I can't tell how hot the pan is. I'll just look at that and go, yeah, that's red. That's heating up. Egg's starting to cook now. So what I could do is actually get the Marmite and get one of these cute wooden spoons, because this can sometimes take a little while, because this has a quite thick consistency. And just before the egg, you know, when it's starting to turn like it is now, you kind of drizzle the Marmite, and then it will go into the egg rather than be on the egg. So here's a, but the thing is, it's difficult to drizzle because that's a big old chunk there. So, but I don't mind big old chunks of Marmite at all. I love it. And one of the good things about doing Marmite eggs, which may or may not be a thing in your household because they're fairly recent to me, is I discovered that if you get a bit of excess Marmite and you drizzle it around the edge, it goes crispy. And fried pieces of crispy Marmite are delicious. So what I'm doing now is drizzling some right around the edge of the egg. So when I claimed that this was an Edwardian breakfast, it's made with Edwardian ingredients, but it's kind of bastardized. I don't know whether they made Marmite eggs. Marmite eggs were introduced to me only a few short months ago, when someone said, have you tried eggs with Marmite? They're amazing. And I did, and they're right. And the way I look at it, because I like to eat superfoods, any ingredient where I can add some more vitamins to something and it's still tasty is a given for me. So I think I put about a decent teaspoon in. It's difficult to tell with these wooden spoons. So there you go. So we'll leave that cooking off. So hopefully we'll get some nice crispy bits of Marmite there. Let's put them to one side. You know, I think I'm done with the spoons, so I'll put them in the sink. Another gratuitous Marmite shot. This is food porn. If you love Marmite, that is. Or it's gross TV if you hate it. Right, so that's cooking away nicely. I much prefer gas, and you know what? Most of the cooking these days is done with electric, so that's just starting to bubble nicely. So let me just put the toast down. Hoping this creates a new sensation of cooking for people. So excuse my jorts on camera. I'm one of these people that will wear shorts for as long as I can. It's November now. Other people are dressed up in winter coats and I'm still wearing my summer hoodies and t-shirts and shorts. I just refuse to do that. So it's bubbling away nicely there. Look at that. So, but we want that Marmite to completely, like, well, look at that. Well, it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. So, but I want some of it to crisp up around the edge of the egg as well. So the toast is in, ready for the gentleman's relish. So, and you have to have a bit of butter. So I should have used unsalted butter because the Marmite and the relish have salt in them, but you know, I'm using what's in the cupboard. So there you go, prepping my butter. What do you think? Too much? Too little? I don't know, I think that's good. There you go, look at that, bubbling away nicely. Toast is in, and yeah, let's do this. So I hope some of you are going to try this at home, some of you Marmite lovers anyway, and see what you think about it, because I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. So you can just see the Marmite around the edge of the egg is starting to go a darker brown. That's it, hopefully crispy up. So I don't flip my eggs in this one. Oh, my toast is up. My toast is up. So here we go. Oops, dropped a bit of butter. Can't have that. As it's Edwardian, I thought I'd use a wooden butter knife, because although they would have had their best silver probably. And here's the gentleman's relish, and you don't need much. It's better to put it on put on more butter, because then you need less of the relish as well, because it kind of all molds together. So there's the gentleman's relish. There you go, that's how much is going on. And you just spread it thinly on there. I'd suggest you try this first before whacking the Marmite egg in as well. This is just my personal preference. I woke up with a craving, and that was a craving for gentleman's relish and Marmite eggs. Eggs are a massive superfood as well, so you know, they contain an amazing amount of vitamins and minerals. So, and yeah, so nutritional value, awesome. And then you've got, you know, tons of vitamin B and zinc, and all the fish oils from the anchovies as well. So there you go. That's about done really. So, and what happens is when you put it on your plate, the excess Marmite goes crispy after, when it cools down. So the egg just broke itself. Just burst, so I'm going to dish that up now before we have a disaster. So this isn't the perfect spatula. So there you go, and there's all that yummy crispy Marmite. So what I'll do is I'll leave that off the heat for a minute and let that crisp up. If I can maybe, actually, I'll get some out that's not sitting in the fat, so that it can crisp up, and you'll see what I mean if it does it. So that's basically liquid Marmite. So I'll just wipe that on the plate in a big liquidy gooey mess of Marmite and sesame oil, and hopefully it'll crisp up. So right, on to the eating. So I'm not sure about the prettiness of my serving up, but let's it doesn't matter, it's about the taste. Yum. So let's get into this. So there you go, an Edwardian inspired breakfast. Look at that Marmite running off the egg there onto the oh, that's you know, to some people they will be salivating, and other people will be urging. It completely depends on your palate and your taste buds, and but I'm hoping that some of you are, you know, inquisitive enough to try this dish. So it's a very simple dish. That, you know, it's just an egg with Marmite and anchovy relish underneath. So, and I've left a little bit there, hoping that will go crispy. That's just the Marmite that's fired off from the pan there. So yeah, let's get into this bad boy. Nom. So there's already a lot of seasonings in there, so I haven't bothered putting any salt in there. But I love these mixed peppercorns. So that's the only thing that I'm going to add to the top of that. Whoa, some just fell out already. Look at that. So a little bit of pepper, because pepper's good for you anyway. So, right, hair out of my face. And let's dig in. Should I go yolk first? Okay, let's have a look. Where are we on the camera? There. Right, so here we go. Yolk first. Not too much Marmite on this first bite. So we've gone for the yolk and the anchovy paste. What? Don't want to lift up wedge, eh? That is absolutely delicious. And the fact that this was, created in 1828 and, the early 1900s for Marmite is fantastic. And I'm glad that they still exist today and they're still readily available and fashionable because they're just so good for you. So right, let's get into the bit where I drizzled the Marmite onto the toast as well, a bit of the egg. It's delicious. So sometimes food that's salty, where people have put salt in as a bulking agent, burns your mouth. You can tell when something's too salty, and I won't eat food like that. The anchovy has a natural saltiness to it. So you can taste the salt, but it doesn't taste bad for you. And I don't get any of the burning sensation in my mouth where they've used way too much salt. So this is great. I can just imagine the Marmite haters out there just going, and the Marmite lovers going, oh my God, I need to try that. I can't fault this. It's a perfect combo for me. That lovely yeasty Marmite flavour, a simple fried egg. It worked really well with the peanut oil as well because there's slight nuttiness flavour to it, but not overpowering at all. And that gentleman's relish, that is a treat. I bought that last month after not seeing it in supermarkets for years, and I was just so excited because I used to have it as a child. Just simple gentleman's relish on toast. So, I inherited my great grandmother's cooking book. So it's dated 1914 and it has over 1,000 recipes in it. I was reading it the other night and it's fantastic. So it has recipes dating from like the 1700s to the 1800s and stuff like that. And a lot of the recipes are so old. If you think about where the USA was at the time, it was in the very early days. So it's proper old English cooking, and I'm really excited to try cooking some of these recipes. There's things in there like there's a Cornish pasty recipe from 1800. Gonna do that. And because I've said that I will do food challenges, there's also things cooked with tripe. Now, I've never eaten tripe, but there's a recipe from like 1706 or something containing tripe, and I'm trying to find one that looks palatable. But I'm gonna go for it. I think I'm gonna do some medieval cooking because I think that will be fun. I look kind of medieval anyway. So here's the Marmite that was in the pan. So It's not quite crispy like I'd like it because I didn't burn it off. So I'd normally leave it in the pan, but it's gone really chewy. So. Oh my God. I can't describe just how amazing this tastes. So I think you guys are just gonna have to try it yourself. If you're Marmite fans, I don't think this recipe will convert people that don't like Marmite. But I'm hoping that for Marmite lovers, it might give them another use for Marmite, because I've used Marmite for, you know, flavouring stews and soups and stuff like that. You know, it's great, and it's, you know, it's vegetarian, so vegan in fact. So it tastes awesome. It reminds me of another story that I'll just quickly tell you before, while I'm munching the last mouthful of this delicious food. When I was young, I used to love Western movies. So my granddad introduced me to them, the Sunday afternoon Western movies. And we were pretty poor, as you know, as a young family, like, you know. So we didn't have a massive amount of money. And I used to watch the cowboys eating like preserved meats like jerky. And we didn't have jerky in England at all. There was no jerky, there was no biltong, there was nothing like that. So so it's a very American thing. So I would root through my mother's pantry, my mother's larder or food cupboard, and I would find stuff to try and recreate what I thought cowboys ate. So I used to get Marmite and bread and butter and spread the Marmite on the bread so thick you couldn't see the bread, and then I would cut it into strips, like little thin strips. We call them soldiers here, and I would pretend it was beef jerky. So, but it was way too much Marmite. It tasted really strong, which is probably why I've got a stronger taste palate now. And I would, every time they took a piece of their beef jerky, I would take a piece of my Marmite bread and put it in my face and pretend that I was with them and stuff like that. But there was also a weird thing that I used to do. I used to want to be tough as a child, like a cowboy. So when I was like 6 or 7, and I used to imagine what they ate. So we had baked beans. So whilst watching the Westerns, I would eat baked beans. But for some reason, I made mustard sandwiches. Now, I'm not talking mild American mustard. I'm talking English mustard, which is extremely hot. So, and I used to make really thick mustard sandwiches because I thought it would toughen me up. So yeah, anyway, that just reminded me of so I'm gonna have to do that now, aren't I? I'm gonna have to recreate what I used to eat whilst watching Westerns. I'll do that on a video. But here goes the last mouthful. This has been absolutely delicious. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Unlike some of the food challenges and stuff like that, I really enjoyed this. It's a fantastic breakfast. Please try it. And please leave comments. I want to know whether you love it or hate it. Marmite. So, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button, because I'm you know, making lots of videos at the moment with lots of different things going on, with challenges, with cooking, with medieval cooking and stuff like that. I've been invited to do some wild cooking by a chef friend of mine, which will be fun because we'll forage for firewood and forage for herbs and stuff like that. And I fancy doing a curry, so I'll probably do a wild cooking curry. I've also been invited to do some allotment cooking from Cookie's Allotments, who's another YouTuber, and I can literally go into his allotment, pick my ingredients, cut them up and cook them right there. So they're going to be fun. So stay tuned for that. and I'm also food tasting Huel food products because they've just sent me a load of stuff. I'm interested in the mac and cheese flavour. Yum. And that's all vegan, even better. So, but there you go. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Goodbye.